guys, welcome back to another video. So today I will be discussing a really important topic that is dear to my heart, which is budgeting. Now you may see that this video is quite long, but if you do not currently have a budget to allocate where you're spending your money, then I really do highly recommend that you take these next 20 minutes to see how I effectively use a budget each month. Of course, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, then you know what to do. Also click that little bell next to the subscribe button. This just lets you know when I've uploaded a new video, so you can come back to this channel and see the most up-to-date video. So today I will be doing a step-by-step guide through my personal budget spreadsheet. So if you go down into my description below, there is a link to Etsy where you can purchase this spreadsheet. So I have a budget spreadsheet for the UK and for the US. If spreadsheets aren't your thing, don't worry, you can totally do this with pen and paper as well. And you may decide that you want to create a spreadsheet of your own, but you just need a few ideas. So feel free to do whatever works for you. So just to give a bit of background, today I am using a zero-based budget method. So this just means that every pound or dollar that you earn is allocated to somewhere in your budget. By doing this type of budget, you know where every pound is going, whether that's to savings or paying bills or paying off debt or saving for your next holiday, whatever it may be, you allocate money to that in your budget. This will all make more sense in a minute. So without further ado, let's get over to the budget. Okay, so here we are at the spreadsheet. I will talk through every section and make sure I clear up any questions. So at the very top, I've got note, only edit the values in red. So you see these values here are in red and here in red. The values that are in black are functions or sums. So please don't touch those, otherwise it will mess up the calculations. So those are not to be edited. So at the very first column, we've got the monthly budget. So we're going to budget for November. And so this can be edited to put the correct month at the top. So the first section is the income. So we've got net income 1, net income 2, and additional income. You'll see in the spreadsheet that some of the cells have a red mark in the corner of the cells, like net income 1, for instance, and that's because I've left a comment. And so anytime you see that, you can just scroll over it with your mouse and it will tell you the comment. So here, it's just explaining what net income is. You probably already know, but just in case, it is your income after taxes and any deductions have been taken. So for the purposes of this demonstration, we're going to assume that this is a household that makes an average salary in the UK after taxes and pension contributions. Both adults make £18.50 a month. So you can see I've changed that, £18.50, and we'll say that they do not make any additional income. Additional income, if you scroll over the comments there, so additional income could be any other source of money that you may receive, such as working tax credits, child benefit, or a side hustle. So once you've put in your incomes, it will calculate here at the bottom. So in this example, the total income is £3,700. Okay, so moving down to this total expenses section. Now it's very colourful, and that's because everything is colour coordinated, which I think sometimes is really helpful and makes things clearer. But this section, none of the values are in red, and that's because you don't need to touch this section right here. So as we populate and fill out the expenses or the budget, these will automatically update according to what's been filled out. So we'll skip that for now and we'll come back to that later. So at the last section of this first column, we have a savings goals section, and this is where you can put in any saving goals you may have, such as an emergency fund, short-term investments, or long-term investments. I've put it in here because I think it's really nice to have all of this central. So as well as having your budget, you also are able to have a place to put your savings goals. So we're going to assume that this family have a savings goal of maybe 3 months worth of their expenses. So we're going to say £5,000 roughly, and we're going to say that they currently have £1,500 saved, and then that will automatically calculate for you at the end, and that tells us they still need to save £3,500 in order to meet their goal. So let's move up and on to the expense categories. So there are 10 buckets of expense categories that I've broken these into. Now, if any of them are not relevant to you, you can absolutely change them to something that will be relevant to you. But this is what we're going to use today, and we're going to go through. So we're going to assume that this family give £20 a month to charity. So I'm just going to change that to 20, and that will go to 20. Now I'm going to scroll back over here real quick. Sorry, don't mean to give you whiplash. So I've put in 20 here, and automatically this updates over here in the total expenses column. So £20 is the equivalent of 0.5% of the total salary. So that's 0.5% of 3,700. And these percentages are really super helpful for you to get an understanding of where the most amount of your money is going and where the least amount of your money is going. And sometimes where you think most of your money is going, that's not actually the case. So it's just helpful to see the budget allocation. So here we're given less than 1%. Maybe this family would consider giving more and they think, oh, maybe £20 is not as much as I thought it is in my overall income. Maybe we need to increase that to 1%. So let's just say they're going to give £40, which is around 1%. Now let's move on to housing and utilities. For mortgage, we're going to say this family pay £1,000 a month for their mortgage and £150 a month for their council tax. Utilities, I have a little comment here, as I mentioned earlier. So utilities could include gas, electric, water, sewage, those types of things. So we're going to say that this family spends about £100 a month on utilities. Broadband and TV, average is around £35 a month. TV license, trying to remember what a TV license is. I think it's £13 a month. And other, this family doesn't have other. So we're just going to leave that blank. So now we've finished this housing utilities section, we can see that the total amount is £1,298, and that is just over 35% of the total income that this family has per month. So now I'm going to move on to investment and savings. So as we saw earlier, this family has a goal to reach £5,000 for their emergency fund. So we're going to say that they will allocate £100 this month to an emergency fund. This doesn't update at the bottom, this is all manually updated. So we see that for investments and savings, they are doing £100, which is 2.7% of their monthly income. As I'm doing this as I go along, I may find at the end I have spare money. I don't really know because this isn't my personal budget, but let's see what happens. So the next category is debt repayments. So we're going to say that this family has some debts. Let's say for a credit card, they're going to pay £100 a month. And their personal loan, let's say they've got a loan, which is £250. And car finance, let's say also that they have a car loan, which is £150 a month. And so we're going to scroll back over just to have a look, and we see that debt repayments are worth £500 a month. That is equivalent to 13.51% of the total income. So we're just going to assume this is not a family with lots of kids, or maybe they have one kid. So let's say the monthly food bill is £220. Restaurant and takeaway. Now, when you set yourself a budget to do this, it's really a good way to make sure that you're not spending way more than you should on restaurant and takeaways. We're going to say this family, they like to spend £80 a month on going out to eat. Work lunches. Now, we're in COVID time, so this may not be relevant to a lot of people. It's definitely not relevant to me anymore. Let's say that it was relevant and we are going to allocate £20 a week to work lunches. That may be a lot for some, that may be too little for others. Okay, so what do we have here now for groceries/food? That's £380 in total, which is the equivalent of 10.2% to 7% of the total income. Not bad. Now we've got the wonderful miscellaneous. Let's start with mobile phone plan. I'm going to say that I've got two mobile phones in this house, and that's going to be £90 a month. Fun money. Generally speaking, I make sure every single month there is fun money in the budget, because what's the point of doing life if you can't spend a bit of money on yourself once in a while? So we are going to say that this couple have £100 each of fun money a month. So that's £200. This couple also has family Spotify, which is £13 a month. Okay, so we now have Netflix, which is £8 a month. And then we've got clothing, £60 a month clothing. We've got a gym membership, so they both go to the gym, which is £20 a month, so £40. And self-care, so this lady likes to get her nails done, she likes to go get her eyebrows done, so we're going to say £50 a month. I also wanted to point out that at the top I've got a comment for miscellaneous to say that if your budget is tight, consider how you can reduce your spending in this section. There may be other miscellaneous things that you do that aren't listed here, so you can put that in here. Add everything in that's relevant to you, change things according to what's relevant to you, and then consider how you can reduce things in this section. So let's scroll over to see miscellaneous. I just like to see these updates. So we've got £461 spent on miscellaneous things, which is 12.46% of the total income. So car insurance. This varies a lot by region, so I may be what I put in here may seem very low compared to what you pay. I don't know. So I'm just going to put £100 for the two of the cars. House insurance, house and contents insurance, whatever you want to call it, £20 a month. Life insurance, let's say they pay £20 a month. Mobile insurance, £15 a month. Let's change other here, and let's say they have a pet. So we're going to put pet insurance. I have no idea how much this would be because we don't have a pet. I'm going to say £20 a month. Okay, so insurances, let's check how much we've spent. So that is £175 on insurances, which is 4.7% of the total income. Now I'm just doing a budget check according to this section at the bottom. So far, all of the expenses have come to £2,954, which is 80% of the income. And we have a surplus currently because there's no negative, there's no minus in front of this number. So we have a surplus right now of £746. So 20% of our budget is not spent. Let's go over and finish. Transport. Oh, okay. Well, maybe this is going to take our money. So let's do fuel. So let's say we're spending £120 a month on fuel. We've got road tax. We're going to say £10 a month for road tax. Actually, two cars. £20 a month. And MOT, £15 a month. Public transport, well, right now we're just going to leave that maybe at zero. We're just going to assume that this couple drives everywhere. And for other transport, we don't have any. Maybe we'll say car maintenance. £20 a month towards car maintenance. Maybe that's like an oil change or whatever it is. I think that's quite handy to add in. And let's go over. So transport is, exactly £175, same as insurance. Now we've got the life events fund. I really like this section and I think it's really important to have. People tend to find that birthdays, holidays and Christmas are typical events that send people's budget over the edge. So by having a section to budget for this, it reduces the chances that you'll have to whack something on the credit card that you can't pay back in full. So I do recommend to make use of this section. So birthdays fund, we're going to say that this couple are going to put £20 a month away towards birthdays. So they may have a friend's birthday in 3 months time and they're thinking, oh okay, I want to buy a card and a nice bottle of champagne, whatever it may be, and they'll actually have £60 in 3 months time to buy that without putting that on a credit card or without it impacting another part of their budget. So we're going to assume £20 holiday fund. we're going to say that this couple are going to put $250 away a month towards holidays. And for the Christmas fund, okay, well, this is November, so we're going to assume that this couple have been putting away £50 a month for the whole year. So let's scroll back over to see Life Events Fund is £320, which is 8.65% of their total income. Surplus, which is £251 and is the equivalent of 7%. But we do have an other section, and because earlier I did say that this couple have a child, I'm going to add some childcare costs. We're going to say that they have to pay for childcare. I don't have children, so I'm quite out of touch with how much childcare would be. I'm going to say on a monthly basis they're going to pay, and then this may just be like child, I don't know, activities, which we're going to say £50 on. Let's go back over and see what we have. Ooh, so we are pretty much at 100% because we only have £1 left. So this is a monthly budget. This is how you do it. So at the very bottom, I've created this visual. And this is just showing us in a pie chart format where our spending goes each month. Yearly budget. I know this looks crazy, okay, but it's exactly the same as the other spreadsheet we just did, except for we've got all of the months of the year. Now, if you are not used to budgeting, I would say don't worry about this. The monthly budget will be sufficient for you right now. Work with that, get that down first, and then move on to doing a yearly budget. So I'm not going to go through this spreadsheet one by one. It's the exact same categories. Don't let it fool you. The total amount for each category and the total percentage are below each category here. At the very end, you've got the totals. So you've got all the expenses total. You've got the percent, which hopefully should be 100%, and you'll be told any surplus or shortage. The good thing is I've also fixed this top pane, so it's easy to see which month goes with which column. One thing that I recommend doing, that I do, is if I'm in a certain month, I either highlight it, so I may say, okay, this month I'm going to highlight it all in yellow, so I know that this is the month that I'm focusing on. But that's totally up to you. I don't delete old budgets. I actually like to keep them to see how things have changed over time. So say it's now January 2021 and I started in November, I'm just going to hide these and I'm going to add new months. So we will just copy and paste so that everything's still there. Obviously you have to change the months. Number 2021, better. And then I'm just going to drag across because it will automatically go to January 2022. Okay, so this is the spreadsheet that keeps on giving. You know, if you do want to delete the old one, you can, but you don't have to. Okay, that's just an example of what you can do with this spreadsheet. Now, last but not least, on this last sheet called Budget Guidelines, I have put a few recommended budgets that you may consider when it comes to your personal budget. We've got the 50-30-20 rule. Essentially, this is where 50% of your income should go towards your needs, 30% of your income should go to your wants, and 20% of your income should go towards your savings and debt. Now, the reason why I've added this to the spreadsheet is because I think it's just good for you to see maybe where you're at in comparison to these. So you may think, oh, I like that 50-30-20 rule. Where am I at? So here it says 20% of your income should go towards your savings and debt. So for debt, we've got 13.51%, and for investment and savings, we've got 2.7%. That is over 16% in total, these two, which is roughly 4% under what the 50-30-20 rule says. There's also the Ramsey Solution budget guidelines. So this is Dave Ramsey's guidelines. He says mortgage/rent should be 25% and utilities should be 10%. So for that one, we may think we're right on track if we decided to use the Ramsey Solutions budget guidelines. And then we have the aggressive budget guidelines. And I've put a comment on here that these guidelines are for people who have goals to save a lot of their income and reduce a lot of their spending.
See here, savings/debt is 40%, which is much higher than the 20% recommended by the 50-30-20 rule. But again, this is because these are aggressive budgeting guidelines. So you don't have to follow this if you don't want to. You don't have to follow any of them if you don't want to. But if you just want to have a look and then consider, well, how do I match up in comparison to some of these guidelines? Then it's here for you to look at and compare.
I hope you found this video useful today. If you have any questions, then please do write them down below in the comment box or even shoot me an email. I'm really happy to help people when it comes to budgeting. If you found this video useful and you're still watching to this point, then please do click the like button below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video soon.